On one side, we have a man, a myth, a legend who has gone toe-to-toe with life-endangering encounters in order to save those that he loves. On the other, children. Big metal children. Who wins? What's next? Basically, we're going to go over the question that's been burning in everyone's mind at the moment. Could Paul Blart beat the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics? Alright, let's set up the ground rules first. Rule number 1. This is taking place in the FNAF movie universe. Maybe I can make a separate video on whether he could survive the games, but as of right now, to cut any lore bullshit that might cloud up the judgment, this is just based on the FNAF movie. Rule number 2. The win condition for Blart is that he either kills or decapacitates the animatronics or is able to get out alive. Plain and simple. The win condition for the animatronics is to kill Blart. Plain and simple. Rule number 3. The prep time given to Blart will be the same that Mike got in the movie. He's going to work there for a couple days and then shit is going to get real. So Blart would know his way around the restaurant. Rule number 4. Blart can only use things in the restaurant to fight. So no Segway, no taser, no hot sauce, nothing. With that out of the way, let's move on to the character stats. Firstly, the animatronics. Each one of them has something special to bring to the table, so let's cover them one by one. Foxy. He's a fast speed boy whose favorite song is... His two main ways of offing Blart is to corner him in a part of the restaurant where there's no escape, or use his blazing speed to get him before he even sees it coming. Foxy is a very powerful card in this fight in terms of physically being able to keep up with him and to deal the finishing blow with that sharp hook on his hand. Bonnie. He's the only one with a weapon, that being the guitar, but he doesn't really use it, so I don't know. Bonnie is slow, but is surprisingly good at the art of the ambush. He purposefully puts himself into a position, and instead of chasing after you like Foxy would, he just patiently waits for you to come to him. Against Blart, this could be powerful depending on how much teamwork is had with the animatronics. Chica and Cupcake. Chica is slow moving like Bonnie, but makes up for it with the most ruthless of all the animatronics sitting right on her plate, the Cupcake. The thing can fly at your face, it can play tricks on you, and it is the most bloodthirsty of all the animatronics in the whole movie, with the most kills and attempted kills in the whole movie. The Cupcake is going to be a not-so-sweet surprise for Blart, if you were to come up against it. Freddy. He's a star of the show and has quite the trick up his sleeve. He can't run fast, ambush, or have a flying cupcake death machine in its hands, but it does have one thing up its sleeve, the luring. In the movie, we can see the spirit of the child who possesses him lure someone to their bite of 87. This could be a problem for Blart considering his heroic nature. His first instinct would be to help a child, but that child could lead him to get jumped by the whole gang, so Freddy might be powerful in this matchup. Shaggy Rogers. He's a psycho killer in basically power armor. He also is in control of all the animatronics, so if they're alive or if they're able to attack during the phase when he comes, I always come. That's not very cool for Blart. He also would probably take Blart's daughter, like how he took Abby in the movie. This could be really, really bad for the animatronic team. Putting Blart's loved ones at risk is what gives him the most power, so that's something to take into consideration. Also, his suit is really, really, really faulty. One good punch, I think, to the stomach and it's over. No coming back from that one. Golden Freddy. Last but not least. He's not really a physical threat on his own, but if Paul Blart ever faints or sleeps, which he tends to do thanks to his hypoglycemia, he could kill him in his dreams or at least damage him or leave him open to attacks. He's a sitting duck. One weakness all the animatronics share is high voltage, and something I'm assuming is being physically hit, because they can fall down and stuff, and I don't think they're getting up with their 1980s design. That covers the animatronics. Now let's get into the man himself. Paul Blart is a 38-year-old overweight man with hypoglycemia. Basically, this means that if he doesn't get enough sugar, he's gonna... Although he may not be the physically strongest, he is definitely a force to be reckoned with. He is extremely cunning, crafty, and on top of all that, is extremely resilient. His strategies and planning are well thought out, using deception, fear, and whatever is laying around to take on foes much more skilled or physically stronger than him. He survived punches, kicks, and falls that would have taken out any lesser man. One thing I should also touch on is his luck. He can have a man firing a gun at him and nothing will hit him. He can go to a random room and see exactly what he needs to take a guy down. He can have friends show up at the right time and save him, and etc. But obviously, he's not perfect. The hypoglycemia makes him dead meat if he can't get sugar, which is probably a problem when you're locked inside of a restaurant with things trying to kill you and you can't really, get out, He's not quick or agile without a Segway, which he can't bring because the rule I set in place. So yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get into the fight. After an interaction with the Freddy saw killer thingy, majigger thingy, he couldn't be tied down to the chair because his wrists were too big or something. He learns that his daughter is being held captive and is going to be spring-trapped. Dun dun. He is not going to let that happen. He sneaks his way in and sees his daughter getting taken away by Chica to the back room. But on the way there, he sees Bonnie and Freddy on the stage blocking his entry. He slides to the opposite side of the stage and sees a bucket full of water and a piece of glass on the ground. He throws the piece of glass to the other side of the room, catching the attention of Bonnie, making him slowly lumber toward the noise. As this happens, Blart slowly approaches behind, grabs a chair, and absolutely demolishes the back of Bonnie's head. His head does a spinny, 360 cartoon thingy, and then he falls to the ground. Blart takes his guitar, he turns his back, and Freddy is gone. He uses this opportunity to run into the back room to find Chica and the cupcake with his daughter. The cupcake lunges at Blart, but Blart uses the guitar to block the attack. The cupcake bites down on the strings only to get shocked and knocked out. Blart now knows that electricity can fry them, so he slams Chica on the dome with the guitar, knocking her out and electrocuting her. He tells his daughter to stay put while he checks the surroundings. He sticks his head out of the door to see Foxy roaming around looking for him. He has an idea. He runs out, getting the fox's attention, and turns the corner with the mop bucket from earlier in his hands. As he runs, he stops in the middle of the hallway, panting, while Foxy turns the corner and sees him. Foxy's getting ready to run, but unbeknownst to him, Blart has spilled the water all over the ground. So when Foxy runs at him, he slips, falls, and dies. Comedically, a light falls off the roof and onto Foxy's body. Blart then hears a child's voice. He's convinced some kid got lost in here and follows it into a room. But all he sees is Freddy. The door shuts behind him, and all of a sudden, it seems to be the end. Freddy is charging toward him when suddenly, Vanessa and his daughter slam through the door with tasers. And they tase Freddy. They walk out, only to find Afton in his suit, ready to throw hands. Blart steps up, ready to fight. But all of a sudden, he faints. He didn't eat enough sugar. He plops to the ground and wakes up in a dream world. The spirit of Golden Freddy is there. He attacks him with all that he has, but it's not enough. Blart is thinking about his loved ones and how they'll be harmed if he doesn't wake up and fight Afton. So he uses all of his willpower, defeats Golden Freddy, and wakes up. Afton overpowers Blart, throwing him around like a rag doll, kicking him around like a rag doll, and ragdolling him like a rag doll. Afton goes to Blart, cockily picking him up by the collar, grabbing him up like a bully or something. He gives a supervillain speech about killing his daughter or something. But that is his worst mistake. Blart rears his head all the way back and slams forward with the hardest headbutt known to man. A headbutt so hard that it activates the spring locks in his head, killing him instantly. They all go home after, and then subscribe to Shed Wizard on YouTube. The end.